Welcome to the Northern Light Webcasting Network. We bring you Western Wisconsin sports via the internet. Stick around and get to know us.
Northern Light Webcasting Network, in conjunction with Colfax High School, presents Viking Pregame. A look at today's Colfax Viking girls game. And now, Viking Pregame.
Good evening and welcome to Colfax High School, where tonight the Vikings, coming off a dominating 64-21 victory over the Regis Ramblers, will take on the Bloomer Blackhawks. Rick Olson here, and soon I'll be joined by Dan Petchow as we're getting ready to bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Coming up in this edition of Viking Pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Bloomer Blackhawks and the Colfax Vikings. Then we'll get Coach Doucette's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Following that, we'll bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game. So curl up in front of a nice warm fire, stay out of the snow for the time being, and listen to some exciting high school girls basketball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout. You're listening to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Banking on relationships.
When you hear the word free, do you automatically become just a little suspicious? At Dairy State Bank, our free checking is just that, free. You receive a free debit card, unlimited check writing, no minimum balance, and no monthly fees. Plus, online and mobile banking is free. For more information, visit dairystatebank.com or stop in at any of our 12 locations. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
Rick Olson back here at Colfax High School, where Dan Petchow and I are getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's girls basketball game between the Bloomer Blackhawks and the Colfax Vikings. Now, last Friday, the Vikings continued to play solid basketball as they dominated the Regis Ramblers by a score of 64-21. The Vikings were led in scoring in that game by Camry Meredith, who had 18 points. She went 8 for 14 from the floor, including sinking her only three-point attempt of the night. She was followed in scoring by Rachel Charlotte, who had 14, and right behind them were Maddie Barstead and Addison Olson, who had 10 and 7 points respectively. Tonight's game should prove to be a bit of more of a challenge for the Vikings. The Bloomer Blackhawks opened their season last Thursday with a close 41-38 victory over the Hayward Hurricanes. Leading the way for the Blackhawks in that game were 5'3" senior Vanessa Jenneman and 5'9" senior Larissa Fossum, who scored 11 points each. They were followed by 5'3" senior Samantha Buchholz, who added 8 points. Last season, the Blackhawks, led by coach Nikki Seibel, ended their season with a 19-win and 5-loss record before losing to Prescott in the WIAA Regional Finals. This year, the Blackhawks carry a great deal of experience with 8 seniors, 2 juniors, and 2 sophomores on their roster. The Vikings are looking to repeat their strong performance of the first 2 games and turn it into win number 2. And Bloomer is looking to get their second win of the young season. And we'll have all the action for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. But first, following this timeout, we'll get the coach's perspective as we chat with Viking head coach Joe Doucette on Coach's Corner. You're listening to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Are your animals feeling a little under the weather? Give the nice folks at Colfax Animal Hospital a call. Bruce Buckley is just what the doctor ordered. In fact, he is the doctor, and he's ready to help. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Give them a call at 715-962-3380.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, what they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
Today we're talking with Viking head coach Joe Doucette. And Coach, we're getting ready for the Vikings to tip off against the Bloomer Blackhawks. Now, your girls are coming off a pretty impressive 64-21 victory over the Regis Ramblers last Friday. Your thoughts about that one?
Well, we had talked about Rick a rebuilding Regis team, not like some of the Regis teams in the old days or in the recent days even. But I liked what we did. We got a good crew. I think we're going to keep improving and be tough as the year goes.
And you got a lot of people with a lot of playing time and got to work on a lot of things.
Yeah, we played a lot of kids and got some experience, and that's what that non-conference schedule is about. And I think Bloomer will be a much tougher test tonight, and a well-coached, solid, very athletic team.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. I suspect that the Vikings are going to find that the Blackhawks are going to be somewhat more of a challenge than what they had last Friday. Bloomer comes into this game with a 1-0 record after defeating Hayward 41-38 last Thursday. What can you tell us about the Blackhawks and what challenges do they present?
Well, Nikki and Lon do a great job. Lon's helping Nikki, and they're a tremendous program every year. They're very athletic. They got some great kids. They always battle for the heart of the North. They always seem to be in sectionals, and it's been a great rivalry, much like the Regis one. So, they beat us last year in a pretty close game, and we would love to beat them. It would mean that we're stepping in the right direction, and we'll have to handle. They tend to run a matchup zone that's been tough for us, and we'll have to, again, be resilient. We'll have to be poised, and we want to take some great shots on that end and defend like crazy on the other end.
Well, that's one thing that the Hudson game showed, that your girls do have poise. They kept getting down, and kept battling back. And so poise, I don't think is going to be too big a problem.
Well, that's why we got the schedule we do to test us and to see. And, we're excited. We're excited to see what can, and if you just take it one game at a time and try to improve. And if we can do that, I think we're going to be pretty good.
So what Colfax girls are you looking to step up to make a big difference tonight?
Well, they're going to, we have to be able to score inside. Rachel and Camry and Josie and some of the kids off our bench, some of our 4s and 5s are going to have to be strong. We got to get the ball inside, and they got to finish over some pretty tough physical kids. So I think tomorrow, and then the other thing is if we play inside out, we'll have to make some shots also. So, but it'll be fun. We're looking forward to it.
Well, Coach Doucette, good luck on tonight's game. Hopefully the Vikings will find a way to stay on the winning track.
Thank you, Rick.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, with a look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing, but not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. This breaks my heart, and it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and gives it to families in need. To help, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
You've been listening to Viking Pregame, with a look at today's Colfax Viking girls game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Stay tuned. Coming up next is live Colfax Viking basketball.
Hi, I'm Amanda Pete. Like all new parents, my husband and I want what's best for our baby. When it was time for our daughter's immunizations, we wanted the facts. So we carefully researched vaccines. We spoke with doctors and other experts and asked some tough questions. We decided that vaccines were the best thing for our child. I urge you to get the facts. Learn the facts about vaccines so you can make the best healthcare decisions for your family. Thank you.
A message from the American Academy of Pediatrics and vaccinateyourbaby.org.
Man, I love my kids so much. I once sat for 3 hours in the cold rain to watch her soccer team lose by 18 goals.
I love my kids so much, I once used a tube to suck snot out of her stuffed nose at 3 a.m.
You win.
Love your kids? Love them enough to make sure they're in the right car seat. From toddlers to tweens, visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to find the right seat for their age and size. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. 1, okay, cool guy. 2, 3 times. Next, oh, I put it in reverse. Meep, meep, meep. Then I take it up and down, up and down. And that, kiddos, is called the forklift.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
Now that's dancing. sure beats flossing.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Colfax Viking basketball is on the air. The Northern Light Webcasting Network, in conjunction with Colfax High School, proudly presents today's Girls Colfax Viking game. Join us as the 2019-2020 Vikings strive for success in the Dunn St. Croix Conference. And now, back out for coverage of today's Girls Colfax Vikings game.
And welcome back to the Colfax High School Gymnasium, where tonight the Colfax Vikings are getting ready to take on the Bloomer Blackhawks. Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow. And Dan, we got enough time. Why don't you give us those starting lineups for tonight's game?
Yeah, here's the starters for Colfax tonight. Number 10, Morgan Schleisner. Number 12, Jana Bovey. Number 14, Camry Meredith. Number 22, Josie Stanky. And number 44, Rachel Charlo.
That's the same starting lineup that Coach Doucette's had all season so far.
Yeah, that's been a good lineup for him so far. Here's Bloomer's starting five. Number 11, Samantha Buchholz. Number 13, Abby Zeman. Number 25, Vanessa Jenneman. Number 33, Emma Seidel. And number 45, Larissa Fossum.
Okay, so yeah, we're getting ready. The Bloomer Blackhawks came away victorious last Thursday when they took on the Hayward Hurricanes, and the Vikings come into this game with a 1-1 record. They dropped a heartbreaker to Hudson in the opener, and then absolutely, totally dominated the Regis Ramblers last Friday night. Other action tonight, junior varsity for Colfax defeated Bloomer 35-29, and actually a very exciting game. And then, in addition to that, the C team, or the freshmen, defeated Bloomer by a score of 46-6. And we have time now for the national anthem being performed.
Colfax High School, guys.
Fire.
And you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. Rockets red flared, bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And that's the Colfax Guys Choir doing our national anthem, and they're about to do the starting lineups here at Colfax. But since Dan has already done that, why don't we take a real quick time out, and we'll be ready for some basketball action right after this. You're listening to Colfax Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
What makes Hometown Pharmacy different than the big chains? People. When you walk into Hometown Pharmacy, you'll see friends and neighbors on both sides of the counter.
We come to Hometown Pharmacy because they are also very knowledgeable and helpful.
We may not be on every corner, but chances are we're in your hometown, or we'll be there shortly. And we care about you. Hometown Pharmacy, our family caring for your family.
Stop by Colfax Hometown Pharmacy in downtown Colfax. Are your pooch's proportions putting on pounds? Or is your kitty's constitution constantly complaining? Well, stop by and see the friendly folks at the Colfax Animal Hospital. Dr. Bruce Buckley and his staff will be happy to help you get your family friend back on the road to healthy living. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Call them at 715-962-3380.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
And we're back here at Colfax High School, just getting ready to tip this one off between the Vikings and the Bloomer Blackhawks. Jumping center for Bloomer is Larissa Fossum. She's out there on the floor along with Emma Seibel, Vanessa Gentleman, Abby Zeman, and Samantha Buckles. And for the Vikings, we have Rachel Charlo jumping center. She's out there with Morgan Schleissner, Jenna Bovey, Camry Meredith, and Josie Steinke. Some of the players to look out for from Bloomer are Buckles, Gentleman, and Fossum. They were the big scorers against Hayward. And Bloomer wins the toss and brings it down on the near side. It's out high right now. And over to the far side with Seibel. Back out high to Buckles. Buckles over to Zeman. Zeman on the near side. Back it out between the circles to Gentleman. Gentleman quickly gets it over to Buckles, and Buckles tries to penetrate the lane, and ball gets knocked away and taken out of there by Schleissner, brings it down the floor for the Vikings. She stops between the circles. Over to Bovey, back out to Schleissner, to Bovey. Bovey high wide and right to Schleissner, drives down the right side of the lane, puts up a shot, it gets knocked away and out of bounds, and it's going to be Colfax ball. Bovey to inbound the ball. She has it on the right side. Gets it out high to Schleissner. Schleissner over to the left side to Steinke. Steinke to Charlo in the lane. Puts up a shot and it's in. Colfax draws first blood. They're up 2-0. 16:54 to go in the first half. And Bloomer brings it back down the floor. Buckles with it. Over to the left side, this is to Gentleman. Gentleman takes it down into the lane, kicks it back out. 3-point shot goes up and in by Buckles. Bloomer takes a 3-2 lead over the Vikings. Vikings get it across the timeline, cross-court pass to Steinke, puts up a three, off the iron, no good. Rebound, battled for on the floor, taken out of there by Buckles for Bloomer. Bloomer brings it across the timeline. They get it down to Zeman. Back out to Buckles. To Seibel. Seibel with it. On the right side. Out to Gentleman. Gentleman to Zeman. Zeman to Buckles. Buckles baseline jumper, no good. Rebound taken down by Charlo. Whistle and a foul. And the foul is being called on Larissa Fossum, number 45. That's the first personal, first team against the Bloomer Blackhawks.
Good job by Rachel Charlotte there on the box out and kept number 45 away from the hoop.
Vikings have the ball. They get it across the timeline. Cross-court pass over to Bovey. Bovey down to the baseline. Puts it up by Meredith, and it's in. Camry Meredith underneath the basket made a good one just up and off the glass. Quickly, Bloomer brings it back down the floor across the timeline. Over to Zeman, puts up a shot, no good. Rebound taken down by Bovey. Good battle for the rebound by Bovey underneath. And they get it to Schleissner. She stops between the circles. Over to the left side to Bovey. Back out to Schleissner. To the right side to Steinke. To Schleissner. Still between the circles. Looking for something to happen. Feeds it to Charlo at the free throw line. Tries to get it down to Meredith. Ball gets tipped out of bounds by Bloomer, and it's going to be Viking ball under their own basket. Vikings on top, 4-3. Inbound pass to Charlo. Out to Bovey, to Steinke. Over to Meredith. Three-pointer comes up a little bit short. And the ball chased down by the Blackhawks, and quickly down the floor is Buckles. Buckles over to Zeman, and her shot is off the glass, no good. Meredith coming down the floor, intended to pass for Schleissner, and it got tipped out of bounds by Bloomer, and it's going to be Viking ball, again under their own basket.
Bovey looking to pass it in. She gets it to Meredith, puts a shot up, and it's going to count, and we also have some harm. I believe they're going to get Gentleman with the foul. They still haven't put it up on the board yet. Yes, it was Gentleman, her first, and that's the second team foul against the Blackhawks. Meredith's free throw is in the hole, and the Vikings go up 7-3. Inbound pass, and we have a whistle and a foul against Bovey with a push underneath on that inbound pass. She tried to knock the ball away and made a little bit of body contact at the same time. That's Bovey's first team foul against the Vikings. Blackhawks get it inbounds. Zeman with it. Now passes it across the timeline to Gentleman. Gentleman over to Seibel. Seibel gets it back over to Gentleman. Gentleman passes it out to Zeman. Zeman down to Gentleman. Gentleman takes it to the lane. Nope, she stops, pulls it back out to Fossum. Now to Seibel. Seibel into the lane to Fossum. Kicks it out to Zeman, and the shot is no good. Rebound taken away by the Vikings. Schleisner tries a court-long pass, and it gets intercepted by the Blackhawks, but the ball got knocked out of bounds. I went off of Vikings, so it's going to be Blackhawk ball. And we have some substitutions for the Vikings. Taylor Irwin is coming into the game, and Addie Olson. And I didn't catch the last one. Oh, yeah, there we go. Jasmine Best. Or was that Maddie Barstead? That's Maddie Barstead. I take that back. Blackhawks with it in the lane, and the ball gets taken away by Meredith. And she brings it down the floor for the Vikings. Gets it over to Addie. Addie over to Barstead. On the left side. Pass it to Meredith, who tries to get it into the lane to Charlo, and we have a whistle and a foul. There's a lot of physical action going on down underneath. The foul is called against Buckholz. It's her third team foul against the Blackhawks. But they're doing a lot of banging around underneath.
Yeah, Colfax is trying to get the ball into the paint right now and creating a little traffic down there.
Inbound pass to Charlo, puts it up and in. Charlo laid it up, and it just kind of gently bounced around on the rim and then finally went down through. Blackhawks quickly across the timeline. Seibel with it. Gets it out to Buckholz. Over on the far side, this is Jar with a shot and a whistle and a foul. Riley Jar is in the lineup for the Blackhawks, and she's going to go to the free throw line. And the foul is on Maddie Barstead. It's her first personal. Here's Jar's first shot, is up and in. 9-4. The Vikings have the lead. 13:03 to go in the first half. Jar's second shot. Up and in. So it's 9-5. Sounds like a Dolly Parton song.
Yeah, it does.
Vikings have the balls. They bring it up the floor. Addie quickly gets it over to Taylor Irwin. Irwin over to Charlo. Puts up a three and hits it. Rachel Charlo from long range puts it in the hole. 12-5. Vikings on top. Blackhawks bring it down the floor. This is Gentleman with a long shot. It's off the iron, no good, and ball gets knocked out of bounds, and it's going to be Viking ball. Meredith inbound for the Vikings. Blackhawks putting a little bit of pressure on. Trying to put a trap on at the timeline. Vikings break it. Gets the ball to Charlo. She drives the lane, puts it up, no. Rebound up, no, and Irwin tries to get a shot off, and it gets knocked out of bounds off Bloomer, and it's going to be Viking ball under their own basket.
Good job by Colfax to crash the net there and get the rebound.
Leah Score checks in for the Bloomer Blackhawks. Addie with it out high. Over to Barstead. Back over to Addie on the left side. Out to Barstead between the circles. Back to Addie on high, wide, and left. Gets it over to Irwin on the right. Into the lane to Meredith, and loses control. Tries to get it to Charlo, and we have a whistle and a jump ball as they were fighting for the ball in the lane, and possession arrow is in favor of the Vikings. So Irwin to inbound the ball under her own basket. Gets it to Meredith, puts it up and in. Camry Meredith puts it in the hole. 7 points for Meredith at 12 minutes to go in the first half. Blackhawks to bring it down the floor. Gentleman with it. Gets it across the timeline. She's out between the circles to Buckholz, standing right in the big red C. Coming over to the near side. Gentleman has it. Down low. Now gets it out high to Buckholz. Thinks about the three. Decides not to. Passes it towards the lane. They kick it back out to Gentleman. Puts it up. No good. Rebound by Barstead. And we're going to get a reach being called against the Blackhawks. And the foul is on Riley Jar. That's going to be her first, fourth team foul. And Addy brings it down the floor for the Vikings. To Irwin. Long pass across the court to Rachel Charlo, and she takes it straight into the hole and scores. That's 9 points for Charlo. 16-5. Vikings have a lead. 11:19 to go in the first half. Timeout on the floor. You're listening to Viking Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Banking on relationships.
If you've been thinking about buying a new home, now's the time to take action. Mortgage rates are low, and Dairy State Bank makes financing simple. Visit our online mortgage center at DairyStateBank.com to see today's conventional rates and apply online. Not interested in moving? Take advantage of these low rates to refinance for a lower payment, shorter term, or to add improvements. Call or stop in today. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Dairy State Bank.
And we're back here at Colfax High School. Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow. Vikings on top, 16-5 in the first half. And Dan, you were saying while we were off the air there just a second ago that Bloomer just doesn't seem to have an answer for Rachel Charlo right now. And when they do, Camry Meredith steps in and makes something happen.
Yeah, Colfax is doing a great job to get the ball inside and get the little jump shots and little shots off the backboard.
And in the coach's corner, that's one of the things Joe Doucette pointed out. He really wanted to work on that inside game, and he's got that going on. And the Blackhawks bringing it down the floor. They get the ball in to Score, who feeds it over to Zeman. Out to Jar, over to Score. Score drives the lane, puts it up, no good. Rebound, fought for underneath, and taken out of there by Irwin, who pulls up the dribble, gets it to Barstead. Barstead across the timeline, drives down to the free throw line, out to Addy between the circles. Over to Irwin on the right side. Feeds it into the lane to Meredith. Meredith drives to the hole, puts it up, no, off the iron. And the ball taken down by Zeman. Zeman gets it to Jar, brings it down the floor. She feeds it over to Gentleman. Gentleman gets it over to Iverson, who puts it up and no good. And the Vikings come down with it. Addy has it. She takes it down to the free throw line, feeds it over to Barstead on the left. Barstead tries the baseline, can't get there, feeds it back out to Addy. Addy to Irwin on the right. Irwin takes it down to the lane, gets it out to Charlo outside the three-point. Now goes down to the baseline with it, feeds it to Meredith in the lane, puts it up in a short jumper for Meredith. 18-5, Vikings on top. About 10 minutes to go in the first half. Blackhawks bring it down the floor, and the pass gets away and goes out of bounds.
Good job by Meredith to get inside and get that little sweet spot, about 14-footer for the jumper.
So Meredith inbounds it to Addy. Addy has it between the circles, over to Barstead on the left. Back out to Addy high. To Irwin on the right. Cross-court pass to Wilson, who's come into the game. Back out to Addy. To Irwin, to Wilson in the lane. Wilson drives to the hole, puts it up, no. Rebound taken out of there by Barstead. She puts the shot up and no good. Whistle, and ball's out of bounds, and it goes to the Vikings. Went off of one of the Blackhawk players. I think it probably went off of Iverson underneath there. Irwin inbounding the ball. tries to feed it to Meredith, and the ball gets knocked away, and the Blackhawks have it. And they bring it down the floor. Passes over to Seibel, and the ball gets stolen by Wilson. Wilson over to Addy. Addy takes it to the free throw line, kicks it back out to Barstead from 3, puts it up and hit it! Nothing but net for Maddie Barstead from right at the top of the key. 21-5, Vikings on top. Vikings put a trap on just as the Blackhawks get it across the timeline. They break the trap, but the pass gets tapped out of bounds by Barstead. And so it'll be Blackhawk ball in the forecourt. Seibel to inbound. Looking for somewhere to go with it. Passes it in to Jar. Jar over to Seibel, and we have a whistle. And we have a foul being called on Charlo, I believe. Yes, it's her first personal, third team foul against the Vikings.
Yeah, Charlo tried to reach around number 55 and got her in the back.
Addison Olsen into the lineup for the Vikings. That's why we have an Addy and an Addison.
It makes it a lot easier.
Iverson to inbound it for the Blackhawks. She gets it into Buckles, feeds it back to Iverson, drives the lane, puts it up and in. Abby Iverson, big sophomore for the Blackhawks. 21-7, Vikings on top. Addison has it high, wide, and right. Feeds it down to Charlo, out high to Addison. Over to Schleissner. She's got it at the top of the key. Kicks it back out to Addison. To Charlo. They're just working the perimeter. To Schleissner at the top of the key. To Addison, high, wide, and right. Over to Charlo down at the right baseline. Back out to Schleissner. Over on the left side to Barstead. Or check that, that's Harmon in there. Over to Addison. Addison down to Charlo on the right side. Feeds it in the lane to Wilson. Wilson trying to go to the hole, and she got...
Looks like he's calling a jump ball.
He's calling a jump ball. Evidently it was all ball that she had because she forced Wilson to change direction. Wilson was going up, and the ball was going down. So the Blackhawks have it. They try to bring it up the floor. Vikings in a full court press. They've got some pressure on. And Blackhawks finally break the pressure, and they have a hard time keeping control of it. But I think we got a foul being called on Marissa Harmon. And we do. That'll be her first personal. Fourth team foul on the Vikings. Team fouls are even up now at 4 apiece. Checking into the Blackhawk lineup is Gentleman back into the game. Seibel to inbound it. She gets it to Buckholz, back to Seibel on the right side. Free throw line extended to the right. Seibel tries to feed it into the lane. Ball gets knocked back out to her. She's on the right side, takes it down to the right baseline. Out to Buckholz. Tries to drive into the lane, puts it up, no good. Rebound, batted around, and Buckholz chases it down, puts up a 3 from the left side. No, it's a little short. Addison gets the ball, gets it over to Wilson, who gives it to Schleissner. Schleissner at the top of the key, takes it coast to coast. No, the shot is no good, but we have a whistle and a foul. Foul is being called on Emma Seibel. That's her first, 5th team foul. Morgan Schleissner at the line for the Vikings. First shot is up and in. Meredith checks into the Viking lineup. Wilson goes out. Schleissner's second shot is up. Off the iron, no good. Rebound taken down by the Blackhawks. They bring it back down the floor. Buckholz with it. Feeds it over to Gentleman. Gentleman tries to get it into the lane. That's to Grambo. Out to Seibel. Seibel over on the far side to Gentleman. Puts the shot up, no good. Rebound fought for. Taken down by Schleissner. And we have a whistle. And I believe we're going to have a foul on Buckholz for the Blackhawks, I do believe.
Yep, number 11.
Samantha Buckholz. That's her second personal, 6th team foul. On the next foul, the Vikings will go to the line. Addison comes down to inbound the ball. As they're going to get it in the backcourt. She gets it to Schleisner. Schleisner through the center C. Feeds it over to the left side. Into the lane to Charlo. Charlo to Meredith, who puts it up off the glass and in. 24-7, Vikings on top.
Tough shot there by Meredith in traffic.
So the Blackhawks bring it down the floor. Get it across the timeline. Vikings are picking them up out high. Seibel with it on the right side. Gets it out to Jar. Back over to Seibel, still on the right side. Feeds it over to Gentleman. Back to Jar on the left. Jar out high to Seibel. Seibel to Gentleman, back over on the right side. Takes it down towards the right baseline. Now she's trapped in the corner down there on the right side, and we have a out of bounds call. I think she threw it against a Viking leg and got the out of bounds call. So Seibel to inbound for the Blackhawks. She feeds it into Fossum, and we have a whistle and a foul.
Jump ball.
Or jump ball. That's what happens when I happen to look down at the roster.
Yeah, good job by Meredith there to get the inbounds and get the jump ball.
Schleisner with it across the timeline. Feeds it down into the lane, and the pass is intercepted. Quickly down the floor come the Blackhawks. Seibel with a three-pointer goes up and in. That three-pointer by Seibel makes it 24-10. Vikings on top, 5:26 to go in the first half. Schleisner feeds it over to Steinke, and the pass gets knocked away, and then as they're chasing it down, we have a hip check. Well, they throw hip checks like that, they might have put some boards around and put them on skates. That was almost like something you'd see in hockey.
Yeah.
Foul is on Larissa Fossum. It's her second personal, 7th team foul against the Blackhawks. So Jenna Bovey is at the line, shooting a 1-and-1. First shot is up and in. 25-10, Vikings on top. 5:17 to go in the first half. Jenna Bovey gets the ball for her second shot. It's on the way, off the back of the iron. She chases down the shot, gets it, kicks it out to Schleisner. Schleisner from 3, no! Rebound, taken down that time by Fossum. Good strong rebound by Larissa Fossum for the Blackhawks. Seibel with it on the right side. Free throw line extended right, feeds it down underneath. The shot is up and no good. The shot was by Grambo. And Charlo comes down with the rebound for the Vikings. Schleisner quickly across the timeline. Gets it out to Charlo from 3. No. Rebound, and we got a foul underneath, and this one's going to be against Josie Steinke. It's going to be her first personal. 5th team foul against the Vikings. Fossum comes out, and into the lineup is Iverson for the Blackhawks. Gentleman has it in the backcourt. A lot of pressure being put on by the Vikings right now. Jar has the ball stolen from her. Meredith spins, puts it up and in. This is where the pressure pays off. Vikings keep the pressure on. Coming down the floor is Seibel. She gets it to the timeline, but the ball gets stolen by the Vikings. Gives to Meredith all by herself. Easy layup and in. And a timeout being called by the Bloomer Blackhawks. 29-10, Vikings on top. 4:21 to go in the first half. And you're listening to Viking Basketball in the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
In addition to being your hometown newspaper, the Colfax Messenger is also your one-stop shop for all your printing needs. The Messenger provides full in-house design and full-color printing services for copies, business cards, letterheads, envelopes, pamphlets, brochures, books. They can even do posters up to 13 by 30 inches for your events or benefits. Call the Colfax Messenger at 715-265-4646 or visit dewitmedia.com.
And we're back at Colfax High School where 4:21 to go in the first half. Vikings have a 29-10 lead over the Bloomer Blackhawks. Blackhawks inbound the ball. Seibel looking for somewhere to go with it. Finally gets it into Grambo, who turns and feeds it over to Seibel again. Seibel takes it over to the right side. Free throw line extended to the right. No. Rebound by Fossum. Gets it out to Buckles, and Buckles tries to drive the lane. No. Ball's tapped around. Iverson with it. Gets it out, and the shot is up and no good. That was another Buckles shot, and the Vikings come down the floor. Meredith, quick pass down to Steinke. Out to Schleisner. Feeds it down into the lane to Charlo, and she tries to go to the hole with it, and we got a foul against the Blackhawks. Foul is being called by against Seibel. It's her second personal. It's the 8th team foul.
Yeah, Bloomer's going big right now, and they're going to see if they can shut down Meredith and Charlo in the paint, and somehow Charlo still found her way in.
Charlo's first shot is up and in. And her second shot is on the way, and it's also good. 31-10, Vikings on top. 3:44 to go in the first half. Blackhawks get it to Buckles as she brings it in. Vikings still have full court pressure on, and as Jana Bovey tries to intercept the pass, she also kind of did a little hip check into Vanessa Gentleman. And so it's Bovey's second personal, 6th team foul against the Vikings. So on the next foul, Blackhawks will be at the line. A couple of substitutions come in for the Vikings. Irwin and Barstead come in. Buckles with it. She's way back in the backcourt, and a lot of pressure being put on her by Taylor Irwin. Finally passes it across the timeline. It's Zeman with it. Gets it over to Gentleman between the circles. Gets it down to the near side. To Buckles, she tries to drive the lane. We have a whistle and a foul, and I believe it's going to be against Meredith. A blocking foul against Camry Meredith. That's Meredith's first personal, 7th team foul. That'll put Buckles to the line.
Buckles tried to make a move under the hoop, and Meredith tried to block her off and got caught.
She wasn't quite set down there. Buckles' shot is up and off the iron, and Charlo brings it down. Vikings come down the floor. Steinke has it on the left side. Gets it out to Schleisner, over to Irwin. Feeds it into the lane to Meredith. Meredith puts a shot up and in. That's 17 points in the first half for Camry Meredith. Blackhawks get it across the timeline. Vikings still using full court pressure. They feed it over to the near side to Score. Out to Buckles. Over to Score. Score, cross court pass, and up and in for Zeman, a 2-point shot. She was out near the arc, but she was just inside it. 33-12, Vikings on top. Schleisner between the circles. Over to Steinke, or to check that. That's Barstead. Now over to. We have a whistle and a foul. A block is being called, I believe, against Charlo, yes. It's her second.
Yeah, Charlo got caught doing a moving screen right there to get Meredith open.
And the Blackhawks have it as they bring it, try to bring it down the floor. Vikings still using full court pressure. Iverson with it. She dribbles it right through the circle. They get it over to Gentleman. Gentleman takes it down the left-hand side, and the pass out high is stolen by Meredith. Meredith tries to feed it down to Barstead, and the ball gets knocked out of bounds by the Blackhawks. The pressure is having a lot of effect that the Vikings are using.
Yeah, Colfax is picking them up at the center line there, and it's causing trouble for Bloomer.
Long pass out to Addy between the circles. Gets it over to Barstead. Barstead feeds it into the lane to Wilson. Wilson back out to Barstead. Barstead's on the left. Down to Meredith on the left baseline. Out high to Barstead on the left side. Over to the right side to Irwin. To Meredith from the three-point line. Off the back of the iron. No good. Rebound taken down by the Blackhawks. And they bring it down the floor. Buckholz with it across the timeline. Trying to set things up. Feeds it over to Score. Score over to Zeman. Zeman out high to Score. Puts up a shot. No good. Rebound taken down by Barstead. Barstead to Addy. Addy brings it across the timeline. Down to the free throw line on the right side. Out to Barstead high. On the right side to Meredith. At the right baseline. Gets it to Irwin. Out to Barstead. Puts a shot up. No. Rebound being fought for. And they're going to say it's off of the Vikings. So it'll be Blackhawks ball. Fossum back into the lineup for the Blackhawks as Iverson takes a seat. Inbound pass to Buckholz and gets knocked out of bounds. So it'll still be Blackhawk ball. We're under a minute to go in the first half. Pass comes into Buckholz. Now it's over to Gentleman. Gentleman looking for somewhere to go, gets it to Buckholz. Back over to Gentleman across the timeline. Gentleman drives down to the baseline on the left side. Kicks it out high. And it goes over to Score. Ball gets knocked around a little bit, picked up by the Blackhawks. Zeman with it, out near the timeline on the right side. Now way over wide right to Gentleman. To Buckholz, cross-court pass to Zeman. Zeman out to between the circles to Buckholz. Buckholz drives to the lane, kicks it out to Zeman on the right. No. And that's going to wrap up the first half. Long shot is totally missed the mark. But that's the end of the first half with the score. The Colfax Vikings 33, the Bloomer Blackhawks 12. We'll be back with Viking halftime, including the Viking profile and the Viking school news, Colfax school news. And that'll all come up right after this brief timeout. You're listening to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Banking on relationships.
When you hear the word free, do you automatically become just a little suspicious? At Dairy State Bank, our free checking is just that, free. You receive a free debit card, unlimited check writing, no minimum balance, and no monthly fees. Plus, online and mobile banking is free. For more information, visit dairystatebank.com or stop in at any of our 12 locations. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
Dairy State Bank.
Okay, kids, Dad's gonna teach you how to dance. First, spread your feet apart. Then, pump your knee, nod your head, shake your hips, and bite your lip ever so slightly. Now, with one hand in the air, point at people with the other hand. I call that the rock star.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
Now, make a face like it just smells something bad.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're getting to know Rachel Charlo here at Colfax High School, and we're going to be chatting with Rachel right after this message.
We are the boy band. Your tween made you see. We are the boy band. It's Painful Concert number 3. We are the boy band. We're 5 and 19. We are the boy band. Always singing on key.
You love your kids enough to take them to see their favorite band. Love them enough to make sure they're buckled up in the back seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
We're talking with Rachel Charlo on Viking Profile. And Rachel, we know that you play basketball, but are you involved in any other activities here at school?
I have done other sports like volleyball and softball, and I am involved in clubs like FFA and National Honor Society.
So when did you start playing basketball, and what kind of experience have you had?
I started playing basketball in 5th grade, and I've loved the sport ever since.
Now, what's the most important thing that you've learned from playing basketball?
The most important thing I've learned is how to play with teammates and how to mesh well with teammates and grow together with them.
So when you're not playing basketball or at school, what other things are you interested to keep you occupied?
I like to spend time with my family and watch my brother play basketball.
All right, I'm going to throw a few rapid-fire questions at you, so just whatever comes into your head first. First of all, pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Cookies.
Any particular kind?
No.
Just any cookie?
Yeah.
All right, Ford, Chevy, or some other brand?
Chevy.
Any reason why?
That's the kind of car I drive, so I just like Chevy.
Brand loyalty, they call that.
Yep.
All right, your favorite NBA team?
Milwaukee Bucks.
And your favorite college basketball team?
That's a tough one. I'd have to say right now, it's the team my brother plays for, Concordia. St. Paul, yeah.
Well, we're talking right now with Rachel Charlo, and Rachel, what are your plans for after high school?
I plan to go to college and hopefully play or continue my basketball career there.
Now, when people come to Viking games, what number do you wear and what position do you play?
I wear number 44 and I play center.
Now, how about a shout out to your family?
Hi, Mom and Dad.
Okay, we want to thank Rachel Charlo for joining us today on Viking Profile. Coming up next is more Viking Halftime.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Hey, it's me, your cell phone. We need to talk about something. Something serious. I know you love me. I know you like using me wherever you are, but I feel like this isn't working out when you're driving. I know you may think that it's possible to focus both on me and the road, but I just don't feel the same way. I think we should spend time away from each other when you're driving. It's for the best.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Time for the Colfax High School Report with an update on what's happening at Colfax High School.
Last week at Colfax High School, with the start of practice for boys basketball and wrestling, winter sports are now in full swing. The Viking girls basketball team lost in overtime to the Hudson Raiders 54-51 on the 19th, and then defeated the Regis Ramblers 64-21 last Friday. Both games were heard right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. The middle school boys basketball sandwiched a game with Boyceville in between two games with Elk Mound. They traveled to Elk Mound on Monday the 18th, where the young 8th graders defeated the Mounders 34-20. Then on Tuesday, November 19th, the boys played Boyceville, where they lost to the Bulldogs by a score of 44-28. Then on Thursday the 21st, the Vikings hosted the Mounders, and the Mounder 8th graders turned the table on the Vikings by a score of 34-30. That brings the 8th grade middle school boys record to 3 wins and 3 losses. Hey, don't forget, there is no school at Colfax tomorrow through the end of the week for the Thanksgiving holiday. We at the Northern Light Webcasting Network would like to wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving. And for those of you continuing your deer hunt through this next weekend, good luck and keep the hunt enjoyable with safety first. And that's what's been happening at Colfax High School. This has been Rick Olson reporting.
You've been listening to the Colfax High School Report with an update on what's happening at Colfax High School. The second half of Colfax Viking basketball is coming up.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
And Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow as we're at halftime. Vikings lead the Bloomer Blackhawks 33-12. Dan, what do you have for first half stats?
We have the Meredith Charlotte show right now. Cameron Meredith is leading Colfax with 17 points, and Rachel Charlotte has 11. Then we got Maddie Barstead with 3, and Morgan Schleisner's got 1. So right now, Meredith and Charlotte are leading the team. And then for Bloomer, they got a couple. Samantha Buchholz and Emma Seibel got 3. Abby Iverson has 2. Abby Zeman has 2, and Riley Jar has 2 free throws. So
that all adds up to 33-12 with the Vikings on top.
Yeah, we'll see if Bloomer can find an answer for Meredith and Charlotte tonight here.
And that was something they wanted to work on, and so far the work is paying off, and they're getting a lot of good pressure with that full court pressure that they've been putting on. And so we're starting to wind down halftime, get ready for the start of the second half. We'll take a brief timeout, and then we'll have second half action. You're listening to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Are your animals feeling a little under the weather? Give the nice folks at Colfax Animal Hospital a call. Bruce Buckley is just what the doctor ordered. In fact, he is the doctor, and he's ready to help. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Give them a call at 715-962-3380. And we're back here at Colfax High School, getting ready to start the second half. This reminder that Colfax Viking basketball is brought to you by Dairy State Bank, where they're banking on relationships. The Colfax Animal Hospital, trust your pets to Dr. Buckley and his staff. Morgan's Auto Body, where after an oh-no moment, they can make your car right again. The Colfax Messenger, for over 100 years, keeping you informed about what's happening in the Colfax area. Colfax Hometown Pharmacy, their family caring for your family. And Kyle's Market, where customer service is supersized. Be sure to thank those sponsors of Colfax Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. We're getting ready to start the second half. And let's see, the arrow indicates that it should be Bloomer's ball to start the second half. So Zeman is going to inbound it. She's over to Buchholz in the backcourt. Still hasn't brought there. She gets it across the timeline. Vikings still picking them up out high. Over to Zeman on the right side. Feeds it down to Gentleman. Or check that, that's not Gentleman. That's Seibel, and she gets tied up on the floor, and the ball goes over to the Vikings. Meredith inbounds it to Schleisner. Schleisner across the timeline. Over to Bovey. Feeds it down low to Charlo. Tries a reverse layup. It's off the iron. Ball goes out of bounds, off Blackhawks. So the Vikings get it under their own basket.
Colfax is still going to keep working it into the paint.
Feeds it to Charlo. Jumper from in the paint. No. Ball gets taken down by the Blackhawks. Seibel across the timeline to Buckholz. Takes it between the circles over to the left side. Long shot being put up by Gentleman is no good, and the ball goes out of bounds. Evidently went off a hand of the Vikings, and so it's going to be Blackhawk ball. Gentleman to inbound it. Looking for somewhere to go with it. Still having a hard time, and now she gets a 5-second call against her. Good defensive play by the Vikings to make sure everybody was covered. She had nowhere to go. Meredith passes it in to Schleisner as the Vikings bring it down the floor. Schleisner through the center circle. Gets it over to Meredith. Or to Bovey. Now to Schleisner. Schleisner at the free throw line. Over to Charlo. To Meredith in the lane. Puts it up. No, but a whistle and a foul. And the foul is on Seibel. It's her third personal. First team foul against the Blackhawks this half. Meredith's shot is up. Bounces off the front of the iron, off the glass, and down through the hole. 34-12, Vikings on top. Meredith's second shot is on the way. Nothing but net this time. 35-12, a 23-point lead for the Vikings. Blackhawks inbound the ball. Have a hard time, but they do get it across the timeline. Feeds down low, and the shot is up and good. Trying to see who made that. That was Fossum on that shot. And the Vikings bring it down, and the Blackhawks putting some pressure on the Vikings. And this time the Blackhawks knock it away. Schleisner gets it back, though. Over to Steinke on the right side. Out high to Bovey, and the ball gets knocked out of her hands by Buckholz. Buckholz from outside the three. She put it through. 35-17. Blackhawks on a little bit of a run. As they put some pressure on, Vikings get the ball across the timeline. Steinke puts a shot up. No. Rebound taken down by Charlo, and she gets slammed into from behind as she tried to go back up with it. And I believe the foul is on Fossum. That's her third personal. Vikings have it under their own basket. Bovey to inbound it. Out to Meredith. To Schleisner. Over to Steinke. Cross-court pass to Schleisner on the right. High widen right now with Charlo. To Steinke between the circles. To Bovey outside three. Puts it through! Jana Bovey sinks a long three. 38-17. Vikings on top. Buckholz with it. In the backcourt, under some heavy pressure by the Vikings. Buckholz finally gets it through the center circle, and the Vikings steal the ball. Meredith, long pass to Bovey. Layup is off the glass. No, Meredith with the follow, and it's good.
Good job by Meredith to follow that one. Get the rebound.
Blackhawks try to get it across the timeline, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul called on Meredith. I think she got a little bit of the arm as the Blackhawks are trying to make a pass. That's her second personal, first team foul against the Vikings. Seibel to inbound it. Gets it to Buckholz. Buckholz takes it across the floor, finally across the timeline. Feeds it down into the corner. Three-pointer is up and good by Jenneman. And the Vikings bring it back 40-20, Vikings on top. Schleisner between the circles. Over to Bovey, back out to Schleisner. Schleisner fakes it to Steinke, then sends it over to Bovey on the right side. Bovey tries to drive into the lane. We have a whistle and a foul. We have a push being called. I believe it's being called against Leah Score. No, I take it back. It's being called against Vanessa Jenneman. And it's the second personal against Jenneman, third personal on the Blackhawks. Vikings inbound the pass to Meredith. Shot is up. No, gets the rebound, puts it back up, and whistled and fouled. Camry Meredith to go to the line for the Vikings. She'll be shooting two.
Foul was on number 33.
And that's her fourth.
That's her fourth.
Meredith's first shot is up and good. That's Emma Seibel with her fourth personal. So she's going to take a seat for a little while. Camry Meredith's second shot is up and bounces round and in. 41-20, Vikings on top. Blackhawks trying to bring it up. Buckholz has it, still in the backcourt. Gets near the timeline, now she gets it across. Feeds it over to the left side. Score is in there now. Score has it on the left side. Out to Buckholz, high, wide, and left. Feeds it into the lane, and it gets knocked around. In the lane is Iverson. They get it out high to Gentleman. Try to feed the lane, and the ball gets knocked around and picked up by the Vikings. Addy brings it down the floor. Gets it over to Irwin. Irwin from three land, nothing, and rebound taken down by the Blackhawks. Buckholz with it across the timeline. Buckholz down to the free throw line. Out to Gentleman from three. No. And the rebound is out of bounds. Vikings will have it. 13:55 to go. Meredith into Addy. Addy across the timeline. To Barstead to Addy. Over to Irwin. Back to Addy. Over to Barstead. Cross court pass to Irwin. Irwin from the three-point. Over to Addy. To Barstead. Barstead to Meredith. Meredith drives the baseline, puts it up and in.
Tough shot by Meredith there.
25 points for Camry Meredith in this game. Trying to get it back across the timeline as Gentleman almost loses the handle. They still haven't gotten across the timeline. Barstead takes it right out of her hands, feeds it to Addy, feeds it off to Irwin. Irwin with a reverse layup and in. And a whistle and a timeout being called by the Bloomer Blackhawks. 13:08 to go. Colfax Vikings 46, Blackhawks 20. You're listening to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Let's be honest. The National Symphony may not be in his future, but he wanted to try violin. So you said yes because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more about keeping your kids safe in your vehicle at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Show him you love him. Keep him safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
And we're back at Colfax High School where the Vikings have a 46-20 lead over the Bloomer Blackhawks with 13:08 to go in the ball game. Bloomer has the ball. They're going to inbound it. They've got to go the length of the court. Buckholz with it. They're still in the backcourt. Gets it over to Jar. Jar being double teamed in the backcourt. Finally gets it across the timeline. Feeds it down low to Buckholz, who drives the baseline and puts it in. Addy to bring it down the floor for the Vikings. Feeds it down in the lane to Meredith. Tries to get it underneath the Charlo, and the ball gets knocked away and out of bounds, and evidently it went off the Vikings because the Blackhawks are going to have it. 46-22, Vikings on top. Buckholz with it. Feeds it to Iverson. Gets it over to Zeman on the right side to Iverson in the lane. Puts it up. No. Rebound taken down by the Vikings. Meredith quickly down the floor. High, wide, and left. Or high, wide, and right. Feeds it over to Charlo. Puts up a three from the top of the key. No good. Rebound taken down by the Blackhawks. Buckholz with it over to Jar. Jar drives. Puts it up. No good. Rebound taken down by Meredith. To Addy. Feeds it down to Charlo, puts it up and in, and we've got harm as well. So Rachel Charlo is going to go to the line to try and finish off the trifecta here. 21 on the foul, that would be Riley Jar. Her second personal, 15 foul on the Blackhawks. Rachel Charlo puts it up. No, it goes off the iron. Rebound taken down by Bloomer. Buckholz with it. Quickly halfway down the backcourt and now crosses the timeline. She's on the left side. Feeds it over to Score. Back out to Zeman. To Score. Score brings it out between the circles. To Jar. Over to Buchholz on the right side now. Into the lane, back out to Jar, and the shot is up and no good. Rebound taken down by Addy. Addy brings it down the floor. Feeds it to Barstead. Barstead puts up a three. No. Rebound tapped around and taken away by Bloomer. Buchholz across the timeline quickly this time. And a long three is in the hole. That was by Leah Score. 48-25, Vikings on top. Addy with it across the timeline. Takes it down to the lane. Feeds it off to Charlo. Charlo looking to kick it back out to Addy. Addy to Irwin. Three-pointer is in from the left side. Taylor Irwin with a three.
Good ball movement by Colfax there to get the open three.
Bloomer with it across the timeline. Score with it. Out to Jar. Jar between the circles. Over to Buchholz. High, wide, and right. Looking for somewhere to go. Tries to take it down to the lane. Kicks it out high to Score. Puts it up off the back of the iron. Vikings with the rebound. Long pass to Meredith. Puts it up and off the glass and in. 53-25. Vikings on top. 27 points for Camry Meredith. She's having a night tonight. Buchholz with it at the top of the key. Now they feed it down low, and Grambo with a lay-in and a foul being called. Grambo's going to go to the line to try to make it a three. Fouls against Charlo for the Vikings. That's her third personal. Second team foul in the second half. Several Viking substitutions coming in.
Yeah, Bloomer's making a little noise right now.
Yeah, Seville Wilson in and Addison Olson is in. And the free throw by Grambo is up and in. So it's 53-28, 10 minutes to go in the second half. Addy with it. Over to Irwin. Irwin drives the lane and gets her pocket picked by Grambo. Feeds it over to Seibel. Seibel brings it across the timeline, down into the corner. Long three goes up, no good. Rebound chased down by Irwin. Irwin over to Addy. Addy quickly across the timeline, takes it over to the right side, feeds it out to Addison. To Irwin. To Barstead on the left. Out to Wilson. Wilson to Barstead. Wilson between the circles. Now she drives down the edge of the lane to Barstead. Barstead at the free throw line. Looking for somewhere to go. Gives it to Wilson out by the arc, and Wilson walked with it before she put the ball on the floor. Seville Wilson called for the travel, and Bloomer has the ball. Vikings putting on full court pressure again. Ball gets inbounded to Gentleman and over to Seibel, who brings it up across the timeline. To Zeman, over to Seibel, and into the lane, and the shot is up and good by Fossum. 53-30, 23-point lead for the Vikings. Addy brings it across the timeline. Taylor Irwin with it, drives into the lane, tries to go up, and we have a foul. And I believe the foul is going to be on Grambo. And they're going to say that Irwin was trying to go to the hole with it, and so she's going to be at the line shooting two. That's Grambo's first personal, sixth team foul on the Blackhawks. First shot is up, rolls off the iron, no good. Irwin to shoot her second. Spins the ball, puts it in the air, off the front of the iron, no good. Rebound taken down by Bloomer. Quickly down the floor is Zeman. Over to Gentleman. Gentleman tries to feed it into the lane. That was intended for Fossum, and we have a whistle and a foul. Foul is being called on Seville Wilson. That's her first personal. Some wholesale substitutions for the Vikings. Third team foul against the Vikings in the second half. Pass comes out to Gentleman. She takes it into the lane, turns, comes back out between the circles to Zeman. Seibel with it. Seibel with a long shot, puts it up, no good. Rebound, taken out by Charlo, looking for somewhere to go, and gets it over to Schleisner. Schleisner across the timeline. Schleisner over to Harmon. Harmon feeds it into the lane, and the ball gets knocked away from Charlo as she was trying to go up with a shot. And the Blackhawks have it. Zeman with it. She's over on the left side. Free throw line extended left. Gets it out high. Now Zeman outside the arc. Tries to feed it in. Gets it over to Seibel. Seibel to Gentleman. Gentleman over on the far side to Zeman. Back out to Seibel. Seibel to Gentleman between the circles. Gentleman looking for somewhere to go. She's about at the free throw line. Gets spun around there. Over to Seibel. Feeds it into the lane. Fossum tries a turnarounder, kicks it back out to Seibel, and she puts up a three and hit it. 53-33. Vikings on top, 6:56 to go in the game. Harmon with it. Out to Charlo. Feeds it to Harmon, driving down the lane, puts up the shot, no good. Rebound taken down by Bloomer. Seibel with it. Feeds it over to Gentleman on the right. Tries to get it into the lane. We have a whistle and a foul. Foul's going to be on Camry Meredith. It's the fourth team foul against the Vikings. It's Meredith's third foul. It's got a little body action on her, I think, that time.
Yeah, Bloomer tried to move it inside, and Meredith got it caught.
So Buckholz has it out high, feeds it into the lane to Fossum, and puts the shot up, no good. Vikings can't control the ball. Rebound taken down by, or the ball, loose ball picked up by Iverson, and she lays it up and in. 53-35, and trying to take it to the hole is Meredith. And we have a whistle and a foul. They have a blocking foul called, I believe. Yes, it's against Buckholz. It's her third personal. Seventh team foul. Camry Meredith with the bonus. First shot's on the way, and it's good. 54-35. Meredith now with the bonus shot. Ball's on the way, and it's good. Boy, Meredith has a pretty free throw, just nothing but net. Inbound pass. A lot of pressure being put on by the Vikings. Blackhawks try to feed it down to Fossum, and it's just a little bit too far out of her reach, and the ball goes out of bounds. Vikings will have it.
More pressure by the Vikings. Create a turnover.
Schleisner brings it up across the timeline. Brings it over to the left side. Feeds it out high to Harmon. Harmon with a shot, no good. Rebound chased down by Schleisner. She takes it to the free throw line, gets it over to Meredith, out to Harmon. Over on the left side now to Steinke. To Charlo. Kicks it out high to Meredith. Meredith to Harmon. Harmon puts up a three and hit it. Marissa Harmon with a three. 58-35. Seibel. She gets it over to, well, she got it back. Nope, that's Gentleman. Gentleman across the timeline. Gets it over to the left side, down into the lane, and the shot goes up and in. Shot by Fossum. 58-37. That's 6 points for Fossum. Schleisner with it on the left side. Free throw line extended left. Into the lane to Charlo, puts it up and in. Charlo drove that lane, went right to the basket with it, and put it in the hole. Gentleman with it, or check that, that's Seibel. Across the timeline to Buchholz. Stops at the free throw line. Kicks it out to Seibel. Puts up the shot, and she hit it. And a whistle and a foul. That falls on Josie Steinke.
That's her second personal foul.
15 foul on the Vikings. Seibel at the line to try to finish off the three. Ball's on the way. Off the back of the iron. Rebound by Irwin for the Vikings. Schleisner across the timeline. Looks to feed it to Irwin. Now she does. High, wide, and left. Back out between the circles to Wilson. Wilson gets it down into the lane to Meredith, who puts it up and in. Camry Meredith with 31 on the night.
Good ball movement by Colfax. Get Meredith open.
Blackhawks have it back down the floor. They feed it down low to Iverson, who kicks it back out high. Buchholz has it. Drives down to the lane, puts a shot up and in. 62-41, Vikings on top, and we have a timeout being called by the Bloomer Blackhawks. Timeout on the floor, 62-41, 3:56 to go in the game. You're listening to Viking Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Oh no.
If your car has had an oh no experience, whether it's from a deer, another vehicle, or any other cause, be sure to see the hardworking people at Morgan's Auto Body in Colfax. Mike Morgan and his staff are ready to get your car right again. The staff at Morgan's Auto Body are ASE and iCar certified technicians, and they can get your car looking like new. That's Morgan's Auto Body in Colfax. Call them at 715-962-3559. The Colfax Messenger has covered the happenings of Colfax and the surrounding area for over 120 years. No one cares for Colfax like the Messenger. Readers get the most current news, sports, and feature stories about the people and places of Colfax. Also, the Messenger is your one-stop source for all your printing needs. To subscribe to the Colfax Messenger or receive a free quote on your printing needs, call the Messenger at 715-265-4646 or visit them online at www.dewitmedia.com.
And we're back here at Colfax High School as the Vikings are about to inbound the ball after the Bloomer timeout. 62-41. Barstead to inbound for the Vikings. Gets it to Bovey. Bovey to Schleisner. Back to Bovey. They're still in the backcourt. They're getting some pressure from the Blackhawks. Over to Barstead across the timeline to Schleisner between the circles. To the left side to Bovey. Feeds into the lane to Irwin. Ball gets knocked away and picked up by Bloomer. Bloomer defense has been much tougher this second half as they come across the timeline. Buchholz with it. Takes it down to the baseline. Puts up a shot. No good. Rebound gets tapped around. Chased down by Bloomer. Out high. And that's Jar with it. Feeds it over to Gentleman. To Buchholz. Buchholz back to Gentleman on the right side. Drives down the right side of the lane. Puts it up and in. 62-43. 3 minutes left in this game. Schleisner with it. Across the timeline. Gets it to Bovey. Down to Wilson. Back out to Bovey. To Schleisner. Over on the right side now to Irwin. To Wilson between the circles. To Barstead. Back out to Schleisner. Schleisner takes it over to the right side. To Wilson from three. Off the iron. No good. Rebound taken down by the Bloomer Blackhawks, and they quickly come down the floor. Buchholz with it. Feeds it out high to Gentleman. Puts up a three. No. Rebound. Fought for underneath. It was taken down by Grambo, and she gets it out to Gentleman. Gentleman circling around. Gets a 3 off. No. Rebound taken down. That three-pointer was put up by Score, and we have a timeout being called by the Vikings. 2:06 to go in this game. Timeout. Vikings 62. Bloomer Blackhawks 43. You're listening to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to keep it right here. Don't forget, please, that there will be no school tomorrow through Friday for the Thanksgiving break, and of course, we here at the Northern Light Webcasting Network want to wish everyone a happy, safe, and fulfilling Thanksgiving holiday. And don't forget that the Viking girls will host Elk Mound Mounders on Thursday, December 5th. JV starts at 5:45, varsities at 7:15. Of course, we're going to have all the varsity action for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. You're going to be here, right, Dan?
I will be here.
Hey, that sounds like a good plan. And also, don't forget the Viking boys are coming up. They're going to tip off their season on December 3rd. We won't be there, but they're going to Amory. JV get underway at 5:45, and the varsity is at 7:15. Vikings have it. Ball gets stolen away by Jar. She takes it to coast and into the hole. 62-45, 1:50 to go in the game. Now Addie has it for the Vikings. She drives down to the lane. We have a whistle and a foul called against the Blackhawks. Foul is on Buckholz, and Addie's going to the line for a bonus.
That's 4 on Buckholz right now.
Addie's first shot is up and in. 63-45, Vikings on top. Second shot is up and in. 64-45. Into the Bloomer lineup is Grambo. Buckholz brings it down the floor. Buckholz at the free throw line, kicks it out to Gentleman. Over to Jar. Jar takes it down to the left baseline. Back out to Zeman. Long shot put up is no good. That was by Rifflet. And Addie brings it down the floor for the Vikings. Over to Barstead. Into Irwin at the lane. Loses the handle on it, and we have a whistle and a foul. And this is going to be a foul on Buckholz, and I believe that's it for her tonight. Yeah, that's her 5th. So Buckholz fouls out with 10 points.
Yep, she had 10 points tonight.
Into the lineup for Buckholz is Leah Score. Irwin at the line. First shot is up, rolls off. Rebound taken down by Bloomer and goes out of bounds, evidently off of a Viking.
Yep, number 32, Wilson, put her hand there and pushed it out of bounds.
Score to inbound the ball for the Blackhawks. Gets it into Rifflet. Back to Score. Score still in the backcourt. Finally they get across the timeline. That's Jar with it. And we've got a moving screen or a hip check being called against Grambo. She had a nice screen set up and then she just kind of thrust the hip out, and yeah, you just can't quite do that.
Yeah, you got to be stationary.
So the Vikings have the ball as Addie brings it through the center circle. Drives down the right side, feeds it into the lane to Barstead. Can't quite find the handle of it, loses control out of bounds, and it's going over to the Blackhawks. 49 seconds left in this game. Inbound pass to Addie, and the ball goes off of one of the Blackhawks. Addie got her hands on it, tossed it against the Blackhawk, and it went out of bounds. Or checked it. They're going to say it was off of Addie. And Blackhawks have it. It's still in the backcourt. About 40 seconds left in the game. Jar with it in the front court. Feeds it down low, and it's up and in by Grambo. Less than 30 seconds to go as Addy has it across the timeline. Kicks it out to Wilson. Wilson over to Abby Irwin. Out to Addy, over to Abby. To Wilson, to Addison. And the Vikings just go into their weave with 4 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. And that'll do it. Final score in this one, Vikings 64, Bloomer Blackhawks 47. We're going to have Coach Doucette up here pretty soon for Viking post game. And Dan will have statistics for us in the Viking post game. So that final score once again, Vikings 64, Bloomer Blackhawks 47. You've been listening to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived in Philadelphia. Local time is 3:05 p.m. and the temperature is 67 degrees. At this time, you are now free to use your cellular devices.
You know that feeling when you get to turn your phone on after the plane lands? You can have that feeling every time you drive. Make sure your cell phone is stowed away whenever you are behind the wheel.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
You've been listening to Colfax Viking Basketball, live on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network in conjunction with Colfax High School. Stay tuned, coming up next is Viking Postgame with a look back at today's game.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling on it.
The dad joke. Corny, groan-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
What did the buffalo say when he dropped his son off for school? Bye, son.
So take a moment to make your kid laugh, because dad jokes rule. Make your kid laugh today. Go to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
I can't believe he found them.
He seems sorry.
We very clearly told him not to look up there.
I'm honestly impressed that he was able to do it.
Right? What, did he balance on that big chair?
Yeah, I mean, I guess he'll just know what his gifts are this year.
I really thought we had hidden them well.
If they can find their presents, they can find a gun.
911, what is your emergency?
Every day, 8 kids and teens are unintentionally killed or injured by loaded and unlocked guns. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and End Family Fire.
Time now for Viking postgame, with a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking girls game. And now, Viking postgame.
And we're back here at Colfax High School waiting for Coach Doucette to come up and chat with us a little bit, which I'm sure he will do as soon as he's done talking to the girls. Dan, your thoughts?
What I liked out of Colfax tonight was they really worked the inside in the first half, and that opened up a bunch of the outside threes and good ball movement for Colfax tonight. Bloomer had some good chances here in the second half, and they just were a little bit behind in the first half to catch up.
And the Vikings kept pressing the ball inside, and they made that inside game work. Bloomer figured out in the second half how to kind of control that. The Vikings still kept going after it, and it didn't not work for the Vikings, as evidenced by Camry Meredith and Rachel Charlo. But yeah, they did pretty well. Well, Coach Doucette is on his way up here, and so we're going to get him the headphones here real quick, and we're going to have a quick chat with him. And well, Coach, congratulations! Win number 2 is under your belt, and
thanks,
that was a little bit more work than the other night.
Yeah, Bloomer, great program, great people. Lon and Nikki are two of the best people around, and just a great program over the years. And they had beaten us a few in a row, and I could tell our kids wanted to win this one, and they made us work for it the entire time, and it was a great game for us.
Hey, I'll tell you what, in that first half, they didn't have an answer for your inside game.
No. Camry and Rachel were tough. We made good decisions. We got on the ball in a good spot, but they were really tough. And I don't know how many Camry had, but when she finishes like that, it really makes us good. But our guard play was good enough too. So
yeah, last I saw, she was at 27, and I think she got more than that.
Yeah.
And but in the second half, it looked like Bloomer figured out a few things. I got the big girls in there, and they started to plug up the lane, and they also started putting some pressure on you, and that caused a little bit of difficulty. And the girls had to, all of a sudden, now a game that seemed well in hand, they had to start figuring some things out.
Yeah, you bet. Their big girls got good position. They were strong, and they definitely hurt us in the second half. And if we helped, they kicked it out, and they made some shots. So it was tough. They had a nice thing going there, and we were fortunate to get off to that great start and have that big lead early.
And your pressure defense seemed to do a lot of work for you. You forced a lot of turnovers.
Did we? Yeah. We wanted to work hard. Sometimes when we press and we're lazy and we jog, then it hurts us. But I thought tonight it really helped us. So.
Well, that's win number 2 as we start to hopefully pile these up in a lot. And coming up next week Thursday, a week after Turkey Day, you got the Elk Mound Mounders coming in here, and that's always, it doesn't even matter what the quality of the teams are when Elk Mound and Colfax get together. That's such a rivalry that's worth seeing no matter what you do.
Yeah, it's a great rivalry, and Elk Mound's full of good people in their school and community, and it's been fun over this time that I've been there. It's just been great games, and not always the best team wins. So, it's our Dunn St. Croix opener, and we need to be ready. That would be a huge way to start our conference schedule.
Well, you finished the preseason with a 2-1 record. I don't think you could have really asked for a whole lot more than that. The girls are looking like they're getting pretty ready for the drive through the Dunn St. Croix, and let's see what we can do with that.
I hope so, Rick. Thanks.
Well, thank you, Coach Doucette.
Yep.
And we'll be back with some more Viking postgame right after this timeout.
Open calendar. What's my schedule looking like?
Next Thursday, you will be caught in an emergency flash flood between Park and First Street.
What? No, that doesn't work. I'm busy then. Decline. Decline.
Floods don't exactly work around your schedule. Disasters don't plan ahead. But you can. It starts with talking to your loved ones about making an emergency plan. So don't wait, communicate. Visit readywisconsin.wi.gov. Brought to you by Ready Wisconsin, FEMA, and the Ad Council.
And we're back here at Colfax High School, where the Vikings have just knocked off the Bloomer Blackhawks by a score of 64-47. Dan, tell us what the numbers say.
Leading scorers for Colfax tonight, Cameron Meredith ended up with 31 points. Big night for her. And following her was Rachel Charlo. And Taylor Irwin was next with 5.
What does Charlo have?
Charlo ended up with 15 points. Maddie Barstead had 3. Marissa Harmon had 3. Gina Bovey had 4. Morgan Schleisner had 1. Eddie Olson had 2. And
that should add up to 64.
Right. And Bloomer's top scorer tonight was Samantha Buchholz with 10 points.
And she fouled out.
Right. And with a couple minutes left in the game. Emma Seibel had 8 points. Larissa Fossum had 6. Casey Grambo had 5. Abby Everson had 4. And Riley Jar had 3. And Abby Zeman had 2.
Well, the Vikings showed some good pressure defense, some good inside game. They got a little bit of a test in the second half with some things that the Blackhawks did, but they prevailed. And they prevailed pretty handily against a good Bloomer Blackhawk team.
Yeah, Colfax kept the pressure with their D tonight, and that really created some turnovers on Bloomer. And in the first half, Colfax hit some really key three-pointers to kind of pull away.
Well, the big storm hasn't quite got here yet, but it's just getting ready to start. So, Dan, you have safe journey back home, and I've only got a couple blocks to go, but you've got a little bit of distance, so very safe travels to you. Have a great Thanksgiving, and let's get together and do this all over again a week from Thanksgiving Day, Thursday the 5th, when the Elk Mound Mounders come in here to take on the Colfax Vikings. What do you say? Sound like an idea?
That should be a good rivalry game.
All right, Rick Olson along for Dan Petschow, and you've been listening to Colfax or Viking post game, and the final score once again: the Vikings 64, Bloomer Blackhawks 47. You're listening to Viking post game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
What if I could tell you that a full-blown wildfire was going to occur tomorrow, right where you live? Tell you exactly which neighborhoods it would engulf and how fast it would do it. The first thing you would do is talk with your loved ones and make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a wildfire will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you make a plan anyway? Visit readywisconsin.wi.gov and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait, communicate. Brought to you by Ready Wisconsin, FEMA, and the Ad Council.
You've been listening to Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking girls game. You can catch Colfax Vikings games by tuning in to any of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Northern Light Webcasting Network is excited to be carrying Colfax Viking basketball. Join us by tuning in on Thursday night, December 5th, as the Viking girls host the Elk Mound Mounders. Viking pregame starts at 7 o'clock, and live play-by-play begins at 7:10. That's the Viking girls on Thursday night, December 5th, right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.